Hey there, traders. This is Dad Trader here, and today we're talking about price discovery and Big Short. Like I said, I have my screen here. Market makers price discovery happens. There is not a lot of documentation on this on the internet. I've found very little on price discovery, but if you look around and you look in FINRA documents, there is a phase that market makers use called price discovery when they're essentially doing that. They're discovering where and at what points market participants may react to during a market. It tends to happen every day on ticker symbol SPY, and the first price discovery ends at 10:30 to 11, and we'll take a look at that in Big Short in a moment. And then there's also another daily probe that we see almost every day at the hour 13:35 Eastern Time. So before we look at the chart, let's just talk about what this means really and how you can use it in your trading. Like I said, this price discovery happens. It usually happens over a range of a couple dollars in SPY. I've seen it, where market makers are accumulating their position that they may distribute later in the day, or who knows, maybe they'll distribute the next day, depending upon the market. Usually after price discovery, there's some kind of ignition point where there's either a pullback in price or a pump up in price, followed by a reversal in that. And then lastly, you can just note the distribution. So market makers are then, distributing their shares that they purchased in the price discovery phase. So let's take a look at that. I know that's like very theoretical, but Big Short is actually one of the few charting tools I've ever seen that help you explore price discovery. So what we're looking at right now is a chart of SPY. It's a ticker traded in the stock market, and what you can see down here is this purple line that I'm outlining with a coral box. That's price discovery, and whenever you see that high, price discovery is happening. So we can see on Friday, price discovery started as it usually does, about 15 minutes into the day right here, and then it ends or starts to ramp down right here as it approaches its zero line. And then that coincides with a reversal in price. The interesting thing about Friday in particular was that there was this gathering by market makers of longs, and then when this ignition point happened, which was kind of a violent, if we looked at this in a minute by minute chart, but kind of a violent downturn, but then followed by a rally that lasted the rest of the day. Now, it doesn't always happen, but what we've noticed with SPY is that this price discovery happens in the morning, and usually when it ends, we can expect some kind of movement. Now, there is a second price discovery that I've noticed out here, this one at 13:35, which also does happen pretty much every day. You can see there was a little dip here at that moment, and then the market rallied. Well, that was Friday, but I think everybody needs to see more than one chart to be convinced that this is something they could use in their trading. So let's take a look at today, which is actually still going on. It's live. Not really that active today because today has been a bit of a sloppy day. Not a great read on Big Short. But what we can see, again, very similar price discovery in the morning, ends here at about 11. And then right here we have these two 5-minute bars. Some people might call that, or this one over here, a tweezer. But then at that point, the ignition happened and we got this nice rally. As you can see over here, also at 13:35, again, little touchdown here and a baby rally of 3 candles over 15 minutes. So that was today's action on SPY, and as you can see, it's still kind of going. But let's take a look at some other charts, because I think SPY is just going to do a lot of nothing into the close today. Let's take a look at Wednesday the 8th, just for fun. I mean, this one's a little bit different, but we see the same thing with this purple line showing us the discovery. The discovery ends here between 1045 and 1055, and then, as you can see, begins its movement downward. This day was actually interesting because it was actually quite telling. There was a large red bar and then more negative flow coming in, smart money negative flow coming into the market. The other piece that I wanted to share with you is right here at 1335, same pattern right there. So that discovery comes in, market trickles down, and then goes up right there at that 1335. Might as well take a look at another one. Why don't I go very random here, just so I, not like making all this up. Why don't we choose Halloween? We'll take a look at October 31st. Again, you can see right away, hopefully this comes to your eye, this price discovery, which happens right here, and then ends again between 10:45 and 11. In this case, when it ended, we can see it ended right about here on this red candle here. Kind of an undetermined day, but it did end on smart money flow, and then that money just kept flowing in all day. And then you can also see this tick here that I was pointing out earlier, the 1335 tick, which again was indicative of flow that happened right up through the rest of the day. Why don't we take a look at just one more, just because I love taking a look. I love looking at charts. I don't know. I just love looking at charts. We'll take a look at Monday at the 6th. Again, this day looks kind of like today, kind of just uneventful. But you can see here, price discovery ends. And then here again is that little uptick bump at 1335, which led to a baby rally and then rallied into the end of the day. Why don't we look at one more amazing chart just for fun? We'll look at Thursday last week. This is kind of an interesting day. You can see that price discovery ended here, like really definitely end, touchdown all the way to zero. And at that moment, then all of a sudden we see this rally. I do have this premonition that sometimes when market makers are building a big short position like they are here, that short position sometimes might actually incite a mini rally because they did build such a big short position in the market. And again, we can see over here at 1335, again, this indication here that they're probing the market again, and then we see that downturn. So that's all I've got. Hopefully you can log on and subscribe to Big Short and check out how price discovery can help you and your trading.